everyone? It's your girl Z, and today I have the founders of Eatokra, the go-to app for Black-owned restaurants nationwide, Anthony and Janique Edwards. What's up? How are you guys?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain. And you guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're great. Besides some noise going on in our background, but it's New York City. What are you gonna do at times?
Very true. So before we dive into Eatokra, give us a chance to get to know the both of you. Who are Anthony and Janique Edwards?
So I'm Anthony Edwards,
Obviously.
and I hail from upstate New York. Originally raised in Los Angeles, California, but I was really raised in a town called Saugerties, New York, in the Catskills.
Yes.
It's about 2 hours north of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
After high school, I went to the military. I was an aviation maintenance repair in the Army. After the Army, I went to college at Fordham University. Then shortly after, I met Janique. Shortly after, we created Eatokra. And then here we are.
It's a business.
It's being very modest. Yeah, so I'm Janique Edwards. I was born in the Bronx, raised in the Bronx. I've lived in Harlem, I've lived in Jamaica, Queens, and currently I reside in Brooklyn. We both reside in Brooklyn. I went to school at Lehman College in the Bronx. I studied English at Lehman, started my career in government very early while I was in school, interning. And currently I'm still in government, working with the Office of Trade in a supportive role. And then, I graduated from school 2011. A couple years later, I meet this guy on a dating app, one of the more popular dating apps. We matched, and a year later, I think we started Eatokra.
Yeah.
And the rest is kind of history, I guess.
Definitely is history. You guys have been all around New York, it looks like, and a little West Coast action too.
Yeah, that's him. I'm an East Coast girl all the way.
So Eatokra, I understand you guys moved to Brooklyn a few years ago, and that kind of sparked the creation of the app in 2016. And once again, it's a one-stop shop to exclusively connect people to Black restaurants and culinary events across the nation. So talk to me about the journey from the very beginning when it was just an idea to launch day. Like, what was that like for you guys? And just walk us through it.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, organically, it kind of just started when I moved to Brooklyn, and I didn't really know much about Brooklyn at all. Being an uptown girl, I rarely ventured out into Brooklyn. So, starting Eatokra was really just, us kind of creating this resource for ourselves to kind of, explore our neighborhood and really get to know the businesses in our neighborhood, because it's something that it was important to us. And that's kind of really how it started, really as a resource for us to get to know Brooklyn, and an opportunity for Anthony as a developer to kind of evolve, his development skills as a software developer. And that was really
just really like level up my skills so that I could get the next job. What better thing to have on your resume than to have something that people are using every day in the real world. And that for us was Eatokra.
Right. And it seems like you guys started this and it really kind of just took off.
Yeah, I mean, well, it didn't really take off overnight, right? We started it in 2016. Mm-hmm. So, the first year, once we finished our MVP, it was about 300 downloads in about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then the next year we had 3,000 downloads. Then, that doubled again to 6, 12, 20. And then, in the last year during COVID, we had about 300,000 people download during that time.
That is definitely a blessing.
So it was a lot of work during those 4 years. It was really just me and Janique like working on the product and building it and growing it and iterating on it, and putting 20-30 hours a week into it before we made a dime on it.
Would you say that you guys are living through the vision that you started when you started Eatokra, or do you think it exceeded your expectations at this point?
Oh, it definitely has exceeded our expectations. Yeah, for us, like I said, it was really just something that, we were primarily using for ourselves. I think the first time we saw it as an opportunity, or really believed that it was something that people would actually, get behind and really use, was when we shared the app with a woman here in Harlem while we were at a restaurant. She just happened to be, eating beside us, and we mustered up the courage to show her this app that we built, and she was really like genuinely excited about it, and like told all of her friends and sorority sisters in Atlanta. At the time, we hadn't expanded the app to Atlanta yet. We were still just covering restaurants in New York City. So we were a little like nervous about that. But it was really like that first moment where we're like, okay, maybe we have something here, and, maybe this is something that people will kind of get behind and use and see as, as valuable.
Yeah, I think what caught us off guard was how we're able to work with some of our partners, brand partners, and I don't think I was expecting that. I don't think I ever had that in my roadmap. I knew we would get to a place where we would have a marketplace or let people order on the platform. Definitely a couple years down the road, and not coming soon, like coming within the next few months soon. But I feel like that's where like the pace has definitely put us ahead by years.
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking about months instead of years, like where I thought we'd be at.
And I think you touched on something important, Janique, when you said you shared it with someone that you saw at a restaurant. And sometimes you don't realize what you may be sitting on, or an idea in your head, how powerful it actually is. And you kind of just took that leap. And I think that's a very important part about being an entrepreneur, like being the advocate for your dream, being the advocate for something that you see potential in, and look where it took you,
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, during that time, it was probably like our first version of the app, which is, it looked a little weird,
No,
things,
it was fine.
It looked crazy. So that was what, you have those insecurities too, of like, it doesn't look the way that I want it to look right now. Should I share it with people, or should I wait until it's perfect, you know what I mean, before I, put it out there? But thankfully, we just decided to, share it with her, and her reaction was really encouraging for us, being entrepreneurs. She showed her support, and that was kind of the motivation that we kind of needed to keep building. So
yeah, because now we had real people in the world using it, and now I could not let them down. The product always had to grow and be better optimized and more performant, faster. I think I said the same thing 3 different ways. But yeah, the game was on then, people were using it. So I'm not a quitter, so had to keep on moving.
Had to get better.
Yeah.
How many restaurants were available on the app when you guys first launched it?
Well, when we first launched
probably
it,
like 300 or something.
Yeah, so we first started in Brooklyn, and we were focused primarily on Brooklyn. And then slowly we started expanding out to the rest of the 5 boroughs. So I say when we got to like the other 5 boroughs, it was probably, what do you want, like 300?
Yeah,
maybe?
like 350,
like
something like that. Yeah.
Around 300 restaurants.
And what is the process for a restaurant to be presented on your app? How does that work?
Our community of users really kind of power the platform in that way. So if there's a restaurant in your neighborhood that is Black owned and you know about it, and you don't see them on Eatokra, you can recommend that restaurant to us as a user. And we have a team of people that, go through those recommendations pretty much every day, and scan them, do some research. And if they, they kind of, when you recommend a restaurant, there are certain fields, information that you fill out. So if there's some details missing from that information, they'll go in and they'll plug in, you know, certain details that might be missing that are pertinent. But yeah, I think the users are really the ones that kind of really power the platform. Of course, restaurant owners have the ability to sign up themselves, which is something that we really kind of started allowing this past year.
Tell me your thoughts on the importance of having Black-owned businesses present in your community or in any community.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think Black-owned restaurants they kind of create this environment that is, you know, safe and inviting, and it's something that you can definitely connect with and feel when you're inside of one. I always talk about like coming into a restaurant and hearing the music and seeing the art on the walls, and you know, also the food, and the people who work there are people who look like the people that are in your neighborhood, because 9 times out of 10 they're hiring people from within the neighborhood. So you know, it's just a place where you kind of feel seen. I feel like a place where you can feel safe, and a place that resonates, I think. So you know, that in and of itself, I feel like is valuable for people to have within their communities. Just these spaces to kind of connect is very important.
That's very
I don't think I need to add to that. That was spot on.
I think I can definitely agree. It's a different vibe. It's a different feeling. And sometimes you can't even put a word to it. So I'm definitely aligned with that. You guys touched on this and touched on just COVID and quarantine in your early responses with Eatokra, but in the height of everything that took place last year, and as the innovators of Eatokra, what are some thoughts that began to cross your mind as you began to see those shifts in Black-owned businesses last year, and especially just the impact it even had on your own app?
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Was probably one. What do you think? It's about time. At the same time, you know, feeling like, you know, this is, you know, Black-owned restaurants have been doing so much and they're so valuable to the community. You know, it's about time that they get, you know, the praise and the recognition and just the amplification that they deserve
At scale. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it gonna last, right? Is this a trend, or is this something that's gonna last beyond 2020, 2021?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for us, just how can we keep building off this momentum, and how can we all really like join together and keep building off this momentum that we have and make the best of it?
I can definitely sense that there is a passion for support for these businesses and also restaurants. Is there anything special, or what does restaurants or food in general probably mean to your union? Is there anything that you want to say there?
So food has always been kind of, you know, this just really important in our family dynamics, and just how we spend time together and fellowship. Food has always kind of been like the center of that. So it kind of made sense for us that we would kind of, you know, create this app that kind of embodies, you know, what food has meant to us, the importance of family, the importance of connection and connecting, the importance of community.
And that really builds off the name Eatokra. You know, okra was a seed brought over during the slave trade, traditionally grown and used a lot in Southern dishes as a thickening agent to kind of like connect things and link things and make and thicken things up.
Yes, I definitely have seen you mention that before. So, and that was a fun fact for me, and very interesting that I don't think a lot of people know. One of the things that quarantine pandemic has granted us is an opportunity to be choosy with our day, week, or life. Basically choosing what we want to make time for. Although we are kind of now out of that and things have opened up a bit. As entrepreneurs, what are some routines or obligations that you've left behind since the pandemic? Because I know for me, for example, pre-pandemic, I was just like on the go, and I was just very had my hands in a lot of different things. And I think when I had that downtime and things were closed, I kind of had to realign myself and understand that, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, and yes, I have goals and, you know, things that I want to achieve, but what about me? Like realigning me and what's important, and realizing, you know, you do have time.
Yeah, I think for us, it was just kind of, it was interesting because I feel like while everyone were kind of getting that opportunity to kind of slow down, we were kind of like picking up.
We had a little downtime.
We had like maybe like a month of downtime. And, you know, we spent it like most people, you know, baking bread, you know, cooking dinner every night together. It was nice.
Slicing our fingers up every other day.
Yeah, I miss the old life, honestly.
All these knife cuts.
Yeah, so, you know, and it was great too, because, you know, we had just had our daughter 6 months prior. So, you know, right before COVID happened, we had both kind of just started going back to work. I was on maternity leave for like 4 months, and I just kind of was getting back into the swing of like going to work, but also missing my daughter, you know, like that I just had. And, you know, I was off of work for 4 months with her. We were really bonding during that time. And so COVID, you know, was really, you know, cool, because I got that opportunity to, you know, be with her again, and for us to, you know, be together literally every single day. Mm-hmm. And it has its challenges, of course, but, you know, it's just really special being able to see her hit all those milestones and to grow over that period of time, and to be there every day for every single moment. So that was really cool. That's something that I know, you know, I wouldn't have been able to do prior to COVID. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had already slowed down because of the baby, and I was already slowed down and doing a lot of development work with Eatokra. So a lot of my time was spent doing that and trying to like stay healthy a little bit.
Just as tad.
Definitely stay healthy.
But yeah, I think even now to this day, I think we're kind of, you know, because of that rush of, you know, people supporting the app, and then, you know, the attention that, you know, we both were getting also, it was a little bit overwhelming. And I think we're still kind of navigating and figuring out pace ourselves.
Yeah.
And really, like, you know, stressing the importance of like taking those moments and that having that downtime and advocating for each other, because there are times when, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I want to be at my laptop plugging away and sending emails, and he has to be the one to say, hey, you know, time out,
yes, time
to go to bed, you know, pack things up. It's still something that we're navigating and figuring out.
I think we all are, and I think you would almost think as if we would kind of know this already as humans, that we have to take care of ourselves. But I would definitely say the theme is more common post quarantine, that, you know, it's okay to close a laptop. It's okay. Like, you can return to work the next day. Like, work can wait. You did mention that you have a team. Do you guys want to talk to us about your team and how they've probably helped to keep the journey going?
Yeah, our team's been solid as a rock when we need them. And they came in right at the right time. You know, as a result of COVID, you know, we had about 8,000 people download the app, like 8,000 people submit listings to us, restaurants to us. So we had to figure out, how can we get these restaurants added? It's too big for Janique and I. That number's too great for us to do. So we did a crowdfund with Fund Black Founders, another women-owned company, and, you know, we were able to raise about $30,000, and with that money we were able to hire some people to help us really grow, knock that list out, and then help us in other ways. But, you know, every day they're such a huge help to us, and we're grateful that they're willing and able to help us.
Yeah, that's definitely blessing. At a certain point, you do realize when your dream is bigger than you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
At this stage in your life, how would you guys define success?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
and we talk all the time about like our inability to kind of be satisfied. I think I don't know how we're gonna be able to define success, because we're both so like we're very driven, and I think we're kind of never satisfied with where we are currently. So I don't know, like I feel like that's gonna be hard. Maybe for you it's gonna be not hard. I'm thinking maybe
I mean, we're definitely pretty successful as a bootstrap company. You know, bootstrapping it for 5 years, like really like staying with it through the thick and through the thin, through like not making any money and just really spending your time. You know, we could be doing other things. Like I feel we are successful in that way. I guess the next successful moment would be like when we hit 1 million downloads. Right now we're at about 350, 400,000 downloads. So, you know, I feel even more successful when we hit that 1 million milestone. We've had successful moments where with our partnerships, and we're very happy about those for partnerships. We'll be happy when we're able to like really more monetize our company. But, you know, I guess success is really like in the eyes of the beholder. Like what's important to you is like time with family. Is it money, you know, and just being comfortable where you're at.
The impact that you make on your community, which is a big part of what we want to do. So I don't know, like there's literally so many things that we want to accomplish that I feel like it's hard for us to just say one thing. You know?
Definitely the response of an entrepreneur and innovator. Your mind is constantly going. But I think you touched on some very interesting points, that when you do say success, still tying in the time for the family, still tying in the time for yourself, and then where does the money and the actual success of your business tie into all of that? But yeah, the mind is always going. And what have you guys learned about yourself through your journey thus far?
Sheesh, what else?
That'll be a lot. So
patience. Patience. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah. I feel like you stole mine.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are co-founders.
Those are all my challenges, and things that I've learned, you know, along the process. But yeah, the getting, you know, comfortable, being uncomfortable, having grace for yourself. I think for me, it's especially, you know, being Black and being a woman and being a tech founder. I think sometimes I struggle with like imposter syndrome, and like I don't belong in certain spaces, or, you know, I don't belong speaking on behalf of this company that, you know, we kind of built together. And also because our story is so unique, you know, and I feel like it can be kind of hard to tell sometimes. But, you know, just kind of talking to myself and really trying to let myself know that, you know, all of these things that I'm conjuring up in my head are things that are in my head. And, you know, I do belong here. If I tell myself I belong in this space, then I belong in this space, you know, and, you know, I just am constantly, you know, trying to do that. And
yeah, I guess learn that we can grow, we can evolve into certain positions and be more stronger in certain areas, like speaking, doing these kinds of interviews. You know, those are all challenges we had to face in the beginning, getting on television, you know, the anticipation of being in front of millions of people at the same time. So those are all things that we've had to really like grow in.
Yeah, and we're still growing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and no matter what it is, I always get nervous when I have to sit down and talk to people.
Don't be nervous. Imposter syndrome is definitely real. But I think what I like to tell myself and during these conversations is that, you know, you created a space, and your space is not only touching lives, but it's impacting lives. So any room that you're afforded to be in, like that, you take up that space. You know, you deserve to be there just as much as anybody else. So you have, as an innovator and as an entrepreneur, you have to constantly remind yourself, you got to knock those thoughts out. Like, nope, I deserve to be here. Because you do, definitely do. Before I ask my last question, I am interested to know, do you guys still happen to use the apps yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Every day, almost every other day.
We're definitely users of our own product.
Yeah, we're probably still the biggest users of our own products. We literally, everywhere we go, we're looking up the app like, oh, I didn't know this place is on the app.
Yeah,
like wherever I'm at, like, oh, we have something here? Cool.
Checking into restaurants, writing reviews, because we want to make sure that we kind of keep a track of, the businesses that we have visited and, where we want to go. Also, we want to kind of demonstrate to people different ways that they could use the app as well. So, and it helps for us understand that user experience too. If we create something or we introduce a new feature, we like to play around with it to see if it's something that we, want to, redo, rework, or keep, or maybe get rid of. So
the app is definitely convenient. There's been so many times where you can be somewhere and you're just like, well, I want to support this business, but how do I even go about this? So definitely convenient. What can we expect from Eatokra in the next year or so?
Next year or so, we definitely want to allow people to start placing orders for food on the app.
There we go.
We want to bring the marketplace to the app. Right now, the marketplace is on the website. We want to expand overseas. So we want to be international with the directory. Mm-hmm. We definitely want to impact more restaurants directly through grants and scholarships, mentorships, education with the businesses.
But we also want to figure out how we can better serve the community as well, and what that looks like for Eatokra.
On this conversation, you'll definitely probably be surprised, because a lot of times we think about things and then we look back and we're like, wow, we've done so much more than that. So
yeah. Oh, and events. We wanna enter throwing our own events. Mm-hmm. Really be a strong source of understanding where events are happening. Where's the next brunch party? Where's the next festival?
Yeah, that'd be dope. That would definitely be dope. Okay, so now I want to play a game with you guys, and I like to call it Flip the Script. So Z will no longer be asking the questions, but Anthony and Janique will be answering the questions. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Sounds good to us.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. Whenever you guys are ready.
All right, here's a good one.
Do you like okra?
Wow. Is that really a question?
No.
But that is a great question. Do you like okra? And then we got another one for you.
I actually do like okra. I am Caribbean, so there's a lot of dishes that we also, specifically I'm Jamaican, there's a lot of dishes that we do make with okra. One of my favorite dishes that incorporates okra is steamed fish, where they stuff the fish with okra, sometimes crackers and other seasonings. So I do like okra.
Nice.
What animal do you think best reflects your personality?
A butterfly, for sure. I think during the past year that I've had so much time to sit with myself, the butterfly's process is very much reflective of, I feel like, what we go through as humans multiple times in our lives. Just the cocoon stage and really that introspection, and then the product of the cocoon stage that everyone sees and sometimes either glamorizes or sometimes questions. But definitely a butterfly.
You were already prepared for that question.
No,
that was random. That was not random.
I just thought about it. Is a butterfly even an animal? Is that's considered an insect? But we're just gonna go with.
That was a perfect answer.
At what age did you think you become an adult, and when do you actually think you did?
I think I realized I was an adult this year. Because when I was younger, I think adulthood would have started once maybe I hit 21. But now when I even look back and I'm just like, I was still a baby and I still had so much to figure out. And sometimes even now I'm like, I feel like I have so much to figure out. But I would say this year has challenged me enough to the fact where I'm like, okay, these are some real life adult decisions that I'm making. And even as an adult, that sometimes kids forget is that we don't even have the answers. We're still trying to figure this out. So I would say this year, I think I realized I was an adult.
You want to ask one?
Yes, I didn't get an answer to ask a question yet. Oh man, I feel like you took all the good ones.
I'm gonna generate 5 new ones.
Okay, yeah. What is your opinion on social media?
Great question.
I feel like these days.
Social media is like a double-edged sword. It's definitely has advanced our society in so many ways where we have so many opportunities. People like us have an opportunity to sell our businesses and connect with so many dope people out there. But at the same time, people feel like they can constantly connect with you and you feel like you have so much to keep up with. Mm-hmm. So I think that on a personal level, we all, or just speaking for myself, there's moments where I just kind of have to readjust my relationship with social media. Like, yes, it is my platform. Yes, it is my way to connect with people, but there's still life to be lived, and don't let it consume you, because it can definitely do that.
Sure.
Yeah. How would you answer that?
Social media?
Yeah.
There you go. Tapping into your hosting skills.
I would literally say the same thing. I think, because I'm deactivating my accounts probably every 6 months and taking, a social media break. So I think, because you're constantly being fed so many different things simultaneously, because, we're all on different platforms. It's not like you're just on one platform. I think it can definitely become overwhelming, for us, even I tell him, sometimes even if I'm on Eatokra's under Eatokra's account assigned in as Eatokra, there are times when I have to shut it down, because you quickly get into like the comparing and making comparisons and seeing what other people are doing, and if you're not, you feel like you're not on that level, then you started to feel insecure and things like that. So
yeah, I get crazy probably insecurity or anxiety, feel like I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. So I stay off social media, but I'm like still on it at the same time. But it is a lot to keep up. We have LinkedIn, we have Instagram,
literally everything.
TikTok, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
A lot.
It can be. It's a full-time job in and of itself.
Yes, I don't think a lot of people realize that, but the breaks are definitely necessary.
Yeah.
I've lost track of how many questions, but I'm down for one more.
Did we ask?
That was like 4.
I think we have one more.
Okay, cool.
If you had a choice to go back in time or into the future, which would you choose?
I'm going back, because the future looks a little scary right now. I'm going back.
Bleak, right?
Back, hands down. What about you guys?
How far back?
I always say I would love to be a kid again, because the perspective of being a child is just, there's so many things you're not even thinking about or worried about, because you are the responsibility of your parents at that point. So they have to worry about the bigger things. You're just kind of like, oh, I go to school. I'll never forget one of the times I told my mom, she was taking me to school, and I said to her, I was like, you have it easy. You just go to work every day. I have to sit and listen to the teachers all day and go to school. You just go to work and come home. And then she looked at me like, huh? Like, now I understand, because I'm an adult. So definitely would go back to just being a kid. Definitely.
Yeah, work is not some magical place.
Right.
It's not.
That adults go to and where they have fun all day.
Right. That process to get to work is no process.
That is so true. So do you guys have any last words or tips for the future dreamers and innovators and future app creators out there?
Yeah, definitely, go after your passion. Start with a passion and let that be your driver. or, you can think of a business model and go about it that way. With us, it was really just like working on and being a part of our passion that, we found that other people needed. Like it was a tool that ended up that other people needed. Be comfortable with the pace that you're going at, the stage of your company where you're at, whether it's a service or a product. Keep talking about it to people, keep learning from other people, keep reading, stay engaged. And if you believe in it, keep working at it. Don't give up. There's a lot of trials and tribulations that's going to happen, a lot. But if it's meant to be, and you still got that passion for it, keep going. The money and everything else will come.
That's very true. If it's for you, it'll be for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Where can we stay in touch with all things Eatokra?
I guess on those social media apps that,
Yes.
that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, our handle is at Eatokra the app, pretty much on everything.
At Eatokra the app, you go to www.eatokra.com and please download Eatokra. Go just type in Eatokra in your app store, one word, and it should pop up. Please download. Please, communicate to us. Let us know how we're doing.
Yeah.
Leave a review.
Leave a
It'd be
review.
amazing. Shop the marketplace, and just be on the lookout for new things to come, new ways to support more restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah. Subscribe to our email list. That's another one.
Yeah.
So you can stay up to date on everything that we got going on.
Well, blessings on all your future endeavors. It was amazing talking to you guys. You guys are great hosts at that. And looking forward to all things Eatokra. Thank you again.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
for having us.